Men, are you feeling lost in today's world? Do you need a strong feminine hand to guide you? And that's where I, Cynthia, come in. This channel, Masculine Energy Motivation, is your one-stop shop for getting back in touch with your primal instincts, the ones women crave deep down. Don't get me wrong, I know a thing or two about being a woman. Raising teenage sons and losing my own wise mother at a young age taught me the importance of strong male energy in the household. It's a legacy I want to pass on to you, my viewers. Consider this your chance to tap into some good old-fashioned wisdom. We'll tackle everything from dating and careers to personal growth, all the things that make a man a real man. No matter your age, there's always room to become the strong, silent type that us women secretly admire and crave. So grab a seat, gentlemen, and let's get you back on track. Now on to today's topic, the kinds of women to avoid. Look, not all women are created equal. Some just don't mesh well with a masculine man like yourself. This video will help you spot those red flags, the communication styles, and the behaviors that can actually signal trouble down the road. Remember, I'm not here to bash women. I'm a woman myself. We're here to empower you to find the perfect partner, the one who complements your strong masculine energy. We'll explore some key things to watch out for, but this is just a taste of what's to come. For a deeper dive, I want you to keep an eye out for my upcoming book, How to Choose the Woman to Marry. It'll be your ultimate guide to finding a woman who respects your strength and supports your masculine journey. In the meantime, let's get started on building that perfect relationship, shall we? First up on the list is the woman who never takes accountability. Alright guys, let's face it, most women have a bit of blame game problem. They just can't seem to accept fault. But before you write off all women, hold on. There are a select few rare gems, even who can actually admit that they messed up. These are the unicorns you gotta find early on. If she's truly interested in you and wants a real relationship, she'll be open to talking about it. But don't expect her to change overnight. You gotta have a come to Jesus talk and lay it all out. Here's the kicker. You gotta be the role model, fellas. Own your mistakes, show her how it's done. If she keeps pointing fingers and refusing to take responsibility, it's a recipe for disaster. This kind of woman just won't work in a long-term relationship, period. But if you see her taking a page out of your book, actually owning up to her actions, now that is a keeper. That's the kind of woman you can build something solid with. The only problem? It takes time to suss this out. Pay close attention when she talks about past situations. Does she ever take some of the blame, or is it always someone else's fault? Does she ever say, I could have done that better? If she deflects blame like a pro athlete, call her out on it in different situations. See how she reacts. Does she get defensive or try to shift the blame again? If she is still not willing to change her ways, walk away. Remember, a healthy relationship needs both partners to be accountable, not just you and not just her. Okay? On to the next one. The overly independent woman. I know, some of you are probably thinking, especially if there's women in the audience that are listening, but hear me out, okay? Overly independent women does not mean independent women. It's those that are overly independent. They don't need a man, which can actually spell problems down the road if you're looking for a partnership with a woman. All right, let's talk about the woman who seems to have her life together, financially independent, career on fire. Sounds great, right? I could be wrong. The problem is, these super independent women often build walls around their hearts. They forget what it's like to be feminine, to need a man. Deep down, every woman craves a strong protector, a guy who can take charge. It's a biological thing. Think about it. When you truly love a woman, You want to take care of her. But if she's already doing everything herself, it throws the whole dynamic off. A real relationship is about give and take, not her acting like she doesn't need you. Sure, being independent is fine in the beginning, but for a lasting relationship, you need a woman who leans on you sometimes. Not every time, but sometimes. Don't be fooled by this facade of strength. Secretly, she's actually longing for a real man to step up and be the leader. That's what she's looking for, believe it or not. The danger, if you get used to her independence, you might actually forget your role as the provider and the protector. And then, one day, she'll get frustrated you're not taking the reins. Resentment builds, and the whole thing falls apart. Here's the key. Set expectations early on. If a woman seems overly independent, it's a red flag. It could mean also trust issues or a fear of needing someone. It might seem attractive at first, but trust me, it'll turn toxic. Some women are so used to doing everything alone, they forget how good it feels to have a man by their side. Don't get me wrong, independent women can be great. I'm one of them. But if she's not open to a traditional relationship with a strong man taking the lead, you're better off moving on, buddy. This kind of imbalance could be a recipe for disaster. All right, moving on to the next one is Miss Always Negative. All right, men, let's face it. We all love a gorgeous woman, but a woman with a bad attitude, that's a total buzzkill. Think about it. You meet this incredible woman, but then the negativity train rolls in, choo-choo, right? Constant complaining, sarcasm that stings like a bee, just a general vibe of being perpetually unhappy. It's enough to make a strong man weak. Here's the problem, fellas. Some of you might find this familiar, maybe even a little exciting. Maybe you grew up around negativity or have a bit of negative Nancy yourself. But listen up, a woman who brings that kind of energy to the table is a recipe for disaster. Miss Debbie Downer will drag you down with her. She'll chip away at your confidence faster than a woodpecker on a telephone pole. You deserve a woman who lifts you up, not one who buries you. Don't settle for that kind of emotional baggage. Now, some guys might actually think that a negative woman is a challenge, a project that they can actually fix. But trust me, that's a losing battle. That negativity is a black hole, and it will eventually suck all the joy out of your relationship. Imagine living with a woman who constantly criticizes you, rolls her eyes at your jokes, and finds fault with everything you do. It'll make you question yourself and walk on eggshells around her. Is that really the kind of woman you want by your side? Look, a little competition can be fun, but negativity is a whole different animal. This woman won't make you a stronger man. She'll break you down, little by little. Don't fall for the trap. Instead, seek out positivity, fellas. Find a woman who makes you laugh, who motivates you to be your best self, and brings sunshine into your life, peace. Peace. She needs to be your peace, gentlemen. That is the kind of partner who will make you a happier, more confident man. What's that saying? Behind every powerful and successful man is an incredibly amazing woman. Something like that? Yeah, it rings true. All right, before we move on to the next one, I'm going to leave a bonus item at the very end. And that one you do not want to miss because I'm going to get into it. All right, now on to the next one. This is the Mrs. She Don't Know How to Listen. Guys, listen up. We've all been there, right? Completely blinded by a beautiful woman, only to realize later that she has the attention span of a goldfish. That's right, a woman who doesn't listen. Now, paying attention is a basic courtesy, fellas. Don't get caught up in her looks and miss the fact that she's constantly cutting you off mid-sentence. Does she seem like she's just waiting for her chance to talk about herself instead of actually hearing what you have to say? Huge red flag. Think about it this way. A woman who respects you will hang on your every word. If she can't even offer you basic courtesy and listen, it actually shows a major lack of respect and makes you wonder about her communication skills. But here's the kicker. It could be even worse. It could be a sign that she's a control freak who needs to be the center of attention at all times. But here's the deal. A real catch will listen and try to understand your point of view. She won't just use pauses in the conversation as her cue to jump in with her own unrelated story. If she cannot manage that basic level of respect, you're in for a relationship filled with frustration and one-sided conversations. Don't waste your time. There are plenty of women out there who can hold a decent conversation and actually show some interest in what you have to say. Okay? All right. The next woman. This is the Mrs. Baby Daddy drama. All right. Now listen up. I want you to understand. Dating a single mom can be a double-edged sword. I myself am a single mom, or I was. But they might be incredibly strong and independent. But that can also mean they're set in their ways and not exactly looking for a man to tell them what to do, especially as it relates to their children. Don't get me wrong, there are some perks. Instant family, great. If you're already looking to settle down, but remember, those kids come first, always. Be prepared to be on the back burner a lot. Here's the real kicker, the baggage. Drama with the baby daddy? Constant arguments and negativity? No thanks. You deserve a peaceful relationship, not one that comes with side of emotional warfare. Now, before you write off all single moms, hold on. There are some good ones out there. The key? Look for signs of maturity. Can she actually co-parent effectively without dragging you into her past? Does she prioritize clear communication with everyone involved? When she has any frustrations with the baby daddy, does she actually ask you to intervene and get involved? Or does she handle it herself? I want you to also be honest with yourself. Are you ready to be Mr. Mom, even if it's part-time? Blended families can be a challenge. Can you handle the extra responsibility and the constant kid stuff? If not, that's okay. Maybe her kids are grown. Maybe you don't have to worry about that anymore. The point is, find someone who fits your lifestyle. A single mom who's got her act together, who can keep the baby daddy drama at bay, and who appreciates a strong masculine presence in her life, that is a woman worth keeping. Remember, a relationship should be a partnership, not a constant test of your patience. Don't get hooked on a situation that's going to cause you more stress than happiness. All right, on to the next one is Mrs. Drama. All right, this is the drama vortex, right? So why dating a high drama mama woman can sink your well-being. Dating a woman who thrives on drama can be a recipe for disaster. Here's why you should steer clear and the potential consequences of your life. Constant stress and emotional roller coaster. Her life is a never-ending soap opera, and you're dragged along for the ride. Arguments, fights with friends, family feuds. You'll be constantly on edge, never knowing what situation will erupt next. This takes a toll on your mental health and emotional well-being. Exhaustion and drained energy. Let's talk about that one. Dealing with her constant negativity and emotional outbursts is draining. You'll have no energy left for the things that most people actually care about. All right. Isolation and damaged relationships. The drama often spills over, affecting your relationships with friends and family. They might avoid spending time with you as a couple because of the negativity, or they might get caught in the crossfire of her arguments. They're never going to tell you, but they don't want to hang out. And that can actually strain your bonds with the loved ones. Yep, and lost sense of self. Constantly navigating her drama can make you lose sight of your own needs and priorities. You might find yourself bending over backwards to avoid triggering her, walking on eggshells, sacrificing your own happiness in the process. Doesn't look pretty. Another is, let's talk about negative impact on social life, right? Social gatherings become stressful. You might even skip events or avoid introducing your partner to friends because you know it could lead to a scene. Does this sound like you, or did it sound like you in the past? This could isolate you and actually limit your social life. Also, trouble focusing on work and even your goals that you're trying to pursue. The constant drama creates a cloud of negativity that can make it difficult to focus on your career or even your personal goals. Your productivity and motivation can truly suffer. Now, we're going to talk about why she might be high drama. There's many reasons. We can't cover them all here, but she might be high drama because she thrives on drama. It could be unresolved past traumas, attention-seeking behavior, or a fear of intimacy. And if you want to know more about that and you want me to cover it in more depth, let me know. The bottom line is, a healthy relationship is built on trust, communication, and mutual respect. RESPECT. All right? A drama-filled relationship lacks these foundations, and actually it can be emotionally and mentally damaging to you. What are some things you can do? Recognize the signs. That's the first thing. Constant negativity, arguments, and emotional manipulation are all red flags. I don't care how hot she is, fellas. It's not worth it. Another thing you can do is to set boundaries. Communicate how her behavior affects you and actually set limits on what you will and won't tolerate. You can also encourage professional help. If she's open to it, you can suggest therapy. I know this is a sticky one if she's already kind of the drama mama, right? But you can suggest therapy to address the root cause of her drama. And lastly, fellas, an important one, know your worth. You deserve a peaceful and fulfilling relationship. If things don't change, it might be time to walk away and prioritize your own well-being. I give this advice like I would to my own sons, okay? Remember, a healthy relationship should uplift you, not drain you. Choose someone who brings joy and positivity into your life, not constant stress and drama. All right, last one before we get to the bonus one is Mrs. Looks shouldn't matter. Now, all right, guys, let's face it. We all know that saying beauty is only skin deep, but let's be honest, that doesn't mean it's not important. A good-looking woman is a real confidence booster, especially at the beginning of a relationship. Now, some guys might say looks don't matter, but come on, be real. Don't you want a woman you're proud to take out in public, for example? A woman who turns heads and makes other guys jealous? That's a natural instinct, fellas. But here's the problem. Some women try to play it cool and act like they don't care about looks. Maybe she shows up to a date looking like she rolled out of bed. Or maybe she constantly puts down other women for their appearance. That is a major red flag. We don't like women haters around here. Think about it this way. You put in the effort to look good for her. You get a haircut, maybe a new shirt, but she doesn't seem to appreciate it. It makes you wonder if she even finds you attractive. Not exactly a recipe for a healthy relationship, right? Look, a woman should take pride in her appearance, just like you take pride in yours. It shows that she respects you and herself and the relationship. Now, that doesn't mean that she needs to be a supermodel, but a little effort goes a long way. The key is finding a woman who shares your values on looks. You want someone who appreciates a good-looking man and takes care of herself. What kind? So that's the other thing you need to consider. I'm going to throw this in real quick. What do you think is going to happen when she shows up to an event where everybody's dressed up and she's not? I want you to consider how you're going to feel, what you're going to think. Okay? Let's say that she lets herself go completely. She's not only not taking care of herself, she's not, taking showers like she normally does or did. She's putting on a little extra weight here and there, which a little bit of weight gain is okay. We're all aging, let's be honest. We all got a little few wrinkles here and there. But to truly let herself go completely, what do you think is going to happen? That attraction is going to fade. Problems will arise, resentment, frustration, all of the above. All right? That kind of mutual attraction is what keeps the spark alive in the long run. So as much as we don't like to put so much emphasis on looks, that doesn't mean it's not important. A good-looking woman, typically when she's taking care of herself, is a big changer. That's all I'm going to say. All right, now on to the bonus before it gets any longer. All right, on to the bonus item. This is a big one, and I put it as a bonus not because it's not important. I put it as a bonus because I really need to dive a little deeper into this one. This one's going to be a little bit sensitive. And it kind of relates a little bit to Mrs. Drama, but it has to have a line item of its own. Okay, dating a woman with trust issues. All right, this is kind of a no-brainer, but here are the problems with dating a woman who doesn't trust you and how it can actually be a sign of unhealed past trauma. Constant accusations and jealousy. You might actually find yourself constantly questioned about your whereabouts, your friendships, or even online activity. She may even be overly jealous of any female interacting with you, even harmless ones. This creates a suffocating environment and makes it difficult to relax and be yourself in the relationship. Another thing that it can do is give you a feeling of walking on eggshells. You might actually end up feeling like you have to censor yourself or avoid certain topics just to prevent triggering her insecurities. This constant vigilance can actually be exhausting and prevents that genuine connection between the two of you. Now, that doesn't mean be disrespectful. You don't sit there and talk about the, double D's that just walked by and whatever. Come on now. Use your common sense, right? But if you're noticing that the simplest of things are setting her off and triggering some sort of response of insecurity, she needs to do some healing. A lot of healing, okay? Another thing that you may experience is limited freedom and independence. She might actually try to control your schedule or limit your social activities, making you feel like you cannot have a life outside of her. This possessiveness can be a sign of her needing constant reassurance and validation. This is so unhealthy, gentlemen. And I'm going to get into that, okay? Damage to self-esteem is another thing you can experience. When your partner constantly doubts your trustworthiness, it can actually chip away at your confidence and your self-worth. You might actually start questioning your own actions and wondering if you're truly the bad guy. Another thing that you can experience is communication breakdown. Trust issues make open and honest communication very, very difficult. You might even hesitate to share things with her for fear of being judged or even misinterpreted. This lack of communication can lead to misunderstanding and resentment and just a whole lot of mess, okay? Another thing is a focus on the past. The relationship might be constantly overshadowed by her past experiences. There's a struggle to move forward and build a future together. Another thing is unhealed traumas, right? These trust issues often stem from past experiences of betrayal, abuse, or neglect. I talk about this a lot actually in some of my videos on the Feminine Energy Motivation channel for awareness, as well as a recent video that I did here on the Masculine Energy Motivation channel. And it's slowly but surely starting to pick up momentum, and it's PISD, post-infidelity stress disorder. All right? Without addressing these experiences, the negative patterns can repeat themselves in new relationships. Now, how does it relate to unhealed trauma? Past negative experiences can actually create a distorted view of relationships and make it difficult to trust others. If she hasn't addressed these traumas, she could possibly project those fears and insecurities onto you, even if you haven't given her a reason. Healing from trauma often involves therapy, self-reflection, and learning healthy coping mechanisms. It takes work. It's important to remember, not everyone with trust issues has unhealed trauma though. Okay? I also want you to remember that open communication is key. Try to understand where her trust issues come from and encourage her to seek professional help if needed. If the trust issues are severe and negatively impacting the relationship or you directly, it might be best to consider taking a break or even ending the relationship for your own well-being. And in the description, I'm going to post some resources for you that might be helpful. And I know a lot of you men are not going to take me up on this, and that's okay, but I'm still going to post it because some of you might. There's the National Domestic Violence Hotline as well as the National Sexual Assault Hotline. All right. So there you have it, fellas. You now have a couple of items that you can keep in mind. That doesn't mean we covered every single one here. Otherwise, the video would be way too long. But I wanted to at least give you an insight into some of the things that you either can do that you can take into consideration, some concepts, some ideas, and some thoughts around them on how to handle it and what ways to process it. But the reality is you deserve to be happy, gentlemen. I encourage you to seek advice, maybe from somebody who is a little bit more experienced in this arena, somebody who's typically older. And you can always reach out to me directly. I'm going to post in the description below my email address as well as my Instagram handle where you can come and visit my channel if you ever want to connect one-on-one. We can do that as well. But I'd love to hear from you guys. So if you guys have any additional comments that you think somebody else might benefit from, please post that in the comment section below. Okay? All right, fellas, this is it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed and amazing day. Thank you for coming back. Please, if you haven't already, like this video. And also don't forget to subscribe. As I mentioned earlier, I will be notifying you guys not only of new and upcoming videos, but also my upcoming book. Okay, so hopefully you guys come back, and I can't wait to hear from you. Take care, guys. Talk to you soon.